Hello, welcome back to another edition of the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast. I'm your host, as always, the Mouth of Michigan, Rob Mendyka. With me, as always, my co-host, the Merc Zone, Mike Merkel.
I'm here.
He's here. We're missing the Whaleman once again for undisclosed reasons. Slacker, like always. But let's jump right into it, Mike. We talked last week. We previewed AEW's Double or Nothing. This week we're going to open up the show talking about that. Then we're going to talk some special events. The match is today, as of this recording, so when you guys hear this on Sunday. And then obviously we're going to talk in the second half of the show. We're going to talk the new NHL playoff format for this year in specifically, and then we're also going to talk some NFL rule changes to end the show today. Probably a little bit shorter show than normal from us, you guys. As you know, it's kind of getting slim pickings here in the sports world. So when there's news, we'll talk about it. But right now, there ain't a whole lot to go off of. So we're scraping the bottom of the barrel as is. So let's jump right into it, though, Mike. AEW Double or Nothing was on Saturday night. We crowned a new TNT champion. We had the whole stadium, whatever it was called. What was it called?
Stadium Stampede.
There you go, Stadium Stampede. There we go. I knew it was something with two S's. We had that. We have a new women's champion. All that good stuff. Just before we go into each individual, some of the highlights of the match. Thoughts on the show as a whole? Give me a grade: A, B, C, D, J, Y, K.
I'll give it a K.
for cool?
For cool, but with a K instead of a C.
Right.
I'll actually give it a...
Also, by the way, just a small topic. If you're not watching this on YouTube, check out Mike's shirt. Mike, show the camera there. His nickname in the family is the Ween, and he's got...
I got a hot dog here,
and
on the back, a gigantic hot dog, and he's very happy because he's on the show today.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty impressive. But
yeah.
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to get you loose. I literally just noticed you're wearing that.
Yeah.
We got it when we went and saw the last AEW show in Chicago. So
I'm a hot dog shirt because of it. So that's my life.
Anyway, what grade do you give this show as a whole? From top to bottom.
I'm leaning more into a B minus.
B minus.
Type
You're a hard guy to crack. Like you are.
So?
No, I think sometimes. I think it's hard because when you watch it initially, you're like, that was good. I think sometimes it takes shows a little while to sit and then you go back. You go, actually, when you look at the card, you go, oh, maybe this is a pretty darn good show. What did you give Revolution in February?
Oh, Revolution I'd give an A minus.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at it and I kind of compare it to all the other ones.
Yeah.
And I think the lowest one to me so far out of the main shows was probably Full Gear. And I think I gave that one a B. Yeah. I think this was just a little worse than Full Gear.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I think it's probably because there are no fans there, so I didn't really help that part. Yeah. But I do think the Cody and Jericho match, the main event match, meant a lot more. I feel none of these matches really did anything for me that much.
Right.
So I think it was a good show. Yeah. A C for me would be on the range of okay to getting to bad.
Yeah.
B minus is still it's been a good show. You had one or two okay to good matches, but nothing really hit me hard where I was wow. That's a show.
Right. And and we talked about last week how this show was going to kind of be, I felt like it was kind of a 1 to 2 match card in a lot of respects, right? The TNT finals and then obviously the, spring stampede or whatever the hell they're calling it.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, and I think that's kind of what happened, I'm going to give some credit to Hikaru Shida and Nyla Rose for as much time as they got. I did think they put forth some effort. Mm-hmm. We have a new women's champion, obviously. Brian Cage debuted in that casino ladder match. He's the new number 1 contender. He's getting a title shot at Fyter Fest. Is that free again this year? Are they doing that for free?
I didn't even know Fyter Fest was happening.
Yeah, so. I just saw it today. They were doing Fyter Fest. Well, I'm assuming it's going to be free.
Or it's going to be half off or something, probably.
I know. If they don't have fans, you might as well just make it free, but it's fine. Moxley is still your AEW champion, and we have a new TNT champion in Mr. Cody Rhodes, defeats Lance Archer. Let's talk about that match just real quick, because that was the match that I was most looking forward to, just from a where they're gonna go. A lot of fans were on the side of I think they should have given it to Archer. I am not in that camp. I thought Cody had to get this win for keeping his credibility up as a viable challenger and as a main event guy. If he loses 3 straight pay-per-views to guys that are going to be higher up on the card, then you just what are you doing with him?
Yeah.
So thoughts on Cody winning the TNT Championship? We're not going to talk about the actual championship because it's ugly as sin, and we're going to wait until we see the final product because it was not finished.
Mm-hmm.
I had a whole meltdown. We should have recorded my reaction.
You should have recorded your meltdown.
Oh my gosh.
That's one thing I regret from yesterday is I saw it pop up on my screen first.
Yeah.
And instead of showing you, I should have been, Rob, get your camera. Rob, get your camera. And you're like, why? Like, just show us, just get it.
All right. Because I would have been like, oh no, what happened? Yeah.
But
for sure.
For Cody winning, my problem is, and I think the Lance Archer fans are kind of like, where are they going to put Lance Archer now?
Yeah.
And I think he's just kind of like, he's going to be like where like Sean's, he's just going to kind of be around. Yeah. He's going to be like that big guy that people are going to have to overcome. But I don't think he's going to be like...
Yeah, I think...
he's not a guy.
Some people have speculated that, okay, Cody gets the title, he doesn't hold it for very long, and Archer gets his win back and gets the title and then has a run with it.
I would have... If that's going to happen, I'd like it the other way.
Right.
Because I'd rather Archer win and then Cody's like, I lost once, so now you have a stipulation match where now he overcomes the... Like, I think that's a better story, so I don't even think that's the right way to go about that.
Yeah.
If that's how it's going to happen.
Right.
But I think Archer is just like a big guy there, but he's not really gonna win a lot there. Where I think Cody really elevates that title.
I think Archer needs a partner. I think if they brought in like a Davey Boy Smith and reformed that tag team with Jake the Snake Roberts, because neither one are very good talking. Like even
he could pair with Sean Spears for all I care.
Well, because Sean Spears has got Tully Blanchard, so that's why like I was saying that just get another guy.
Oh yes,
he's got Tully. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. So like that kind of. Like the MO, like the hard, grungy, like we're gonna beat the crap out of you kind of thing, because as many tag teams as AEW has, they don't have a lot of like established tag teams right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So they're all kind of
good.
They're all just there. Thoughts? Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with you a little bit. I'm glad Cody got the win. I think he needed the win. You need a credible guy as your first champion in any scenario. I feel like WWE does it weird where like every time there's going to be a first ever champion, they always do the random guy, and it's never somebody where you go, let's just give it to an established star and then have the unknown guy beat that guy, rather than this dude goes through everybody. So I'm glad that they went that route with it. I don't think Archer looks bad in losing. I think they intentionally hit him with two crossroads on purpose.
Yeah.
Was to make sure that it was like one was not going to be enough, so he made sure to hit him with the second one. But by also not diminishing the finish by having Archer kick out of it. So you kind of have to walk that fine line. Thoughts on the Brody Lee John Moxley match? Doesn't go super long. I think it went 20 minutes. 15. And then, and Moxley gets the win via sleeper hold.
By technical submission.
Whatever. You call it what you want. Call a spade. It's tomato. He won by sleeper hold.
Yeah.
Thoughts on not only the match, but, the booking and what, where do you see Moxley going from here? I know he's obviously got Brian Cage, but, like, where do you see, what's Moxley's run looking like to you?
Yeah, I mean, Moxley's kind of just set up right now to lose to probably MJF at All Out, Full Gear area, wherever they want to push MJF to do it. But I really see that MJF is going to be the guy. Yeah. He's going to be the guy, probably to hold it for a really long time too when he gets it too.
Think JBL run.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking is going to wind up being where he never beats anybody, but he somehow manages to escape with the time. Like he beats them, but like he never does it on his own. Like he's never just going to go out and just he just beat him. Like that's not going to happen. Exactly. Like he's got Wardlow the heater, so he's got.
He's good, and everything he's done up to this point, like the Cody match, is all kind of just like, yeah, you won, but like, did you win? Like,
and then in his character, he goes, I won. I'm better than all of you. So that's the point.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Moxley's just gonna he's gonna have a nice match with Brian Cage, beat Brian Cage probably. He's gonna go and then probably lose to MGF, and then I don't know where he goes from there. But I think that's where the inevitable through the summer, early.
I think he can take a step back and then let guys, because if that's the way it goes, that we need to start seeing Kenny and Adam Page and Cody and some of these guys kind of start to become heavyweights again and stop screwing around and like let's have a deep world title division, because right now it's real shallow, as we're seeing with Brody Lee getting kind of. I feel like that match got pushed up a while. Like, if Brody would have been here from day one, and they would have really, like, Brody's just been this dominant force, and he's beaten, say, a Hangman or something like that, to really have that signature win, then I feel like it would have made this match a little more enticing. Whereas now it's like, it's really his first real title defense. you knew probably it would have been a pretty big shocker, I think, if Brody would have taken the title here.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it was kind of like an anticlimactic way to kind of do it. I'm assuming maybe they'll continue this, and for somewhat.
Because I'm wondering, because last year they had Fighter Fest and Fight for the Fallen.
Right, like really close. Close.
So I'm wondering if it's going to be like Brody's at Fighter Fest or whichever one's first, and then Fight for the Fallen.
Or maybe Brian Cage gets his Fighter Fest shot, but it's still the overarching story is still Brody.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then Fighter Fest is where Brody gets his rematch, and then at All Out, it's when MJF finally gets his shit, maybe, or something.
Yeah, right.
I think they have 2 or 3 minor shows before that.
Exactly.
So I think that's probably where they're going to go with those guys.
Yeah. Real question, before we talk about the Stadium Stampede match, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
I think some WWE fans have been wanting more of, and I think AEW is definitely giving you that, and that's the use of the manager. When you look at it now, with Brian Cage has Taz, Lance Archer has Jake Roberts, hell, even Cody's got Arn, which he doesn't need him, but I understand it. Yeah. And you've got even Cody's wife Brandy, who's managing his brother in QT Marshall. You've got Tully Blanchard managing Shawn Spears. You've got a lot of people with managers, and usually it's a legend or something, or somebody who has some clout in the industry, kind of trying to elevate that guy. And I think in some regards it's protecting some of these guys as well. Like Brian Cage is not necessarily known as a cunning linguist, on the microphone, so you give him Taz, who can really emphasize the impact on what he's doing in the ring, similar to what Archer and Jake the Snake are doing, where you're adding that little bit of griminess to him. Thoughts on AEW's use of managers? Because I think they're doing a really nice job on selecting people to match with a certain guy. And I think it's really helping elevate some of these talent that maybe couldn't get over strictly by talking on the mic. You're only going to have so many Jerichos on your card. You know what I mean? So I think they need some of this to establish some guys to give people credit. Like, oh, Jake Roberts is with Lance Archer. Yeah. That's a big deal. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I do, because I think the people they're selecting is perfect, as you said, because people that don't talk as well, they get managers too. But I also feel like it gives it a bigger fight feel. Yeah. Because
you have that guy on the outside.
Yeah. Well, not even that, but when you look at sports in general, everyone has an agent, or everyone has that guy that you're like, hey, I'm not going to negotiate this match. You're going to negotiate with my manager, and then if everything works out, my manager's going to be like, hey, you're wrestling this dude today. Right. I feel like that's kind of how they want to play it. It's more, they want, because their whole thing is wins, losses matter, and the the ranking and all, everything feels more realistic than just wrestling entertainment or whatever. Right. So I think adding managers to all these people, one, benefits the people that are given the managers, because guys like Kenny and Cody don't really need managers, even though some of them have them. Some of them don't need, MJF doesn't need a manager there, because he talks solo by himself.
But he has a heater because he's playing the role of Shawn Michaels.
Or Inner Circle, Jericho doesn't need one, but he's got his whole Inner Circle there with him and stuff.
It fuels the game.
And so every single time it's I want this match with Jericho, hey, talk to this guy and we'll set something up. Or
you gotta go through the whole Inner Circle before you get to Jericho.
Exactly. Right. So I think it really adds a whole new element that WWE's missing, because WWE is just
I feel like WWE would benefit a lot from having.
Well, they would, but I think WWE, because AEW right now doesn't need the authority figure, because they have all these different managers. The managers set up matches for their clients, as you would put it. WWE is just hey, we're randomly gonna put Sheamus and this dude together. Right. Because
reasons.
Why?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like for the reasons why, I feel like it just works so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it adds to the quality. The only thing I will say you have to worry about is the manager overshadowing the talent. You know what I mean? Jake Roberts and Arn Anderson going verbal to verbal there was kind of neat to see. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you also have to run that risk of, okay, but now it's all right, but if these guys are selling the show, but they're not actually doing the action, you kind of lose some of that, the talk. It's like the talk is cheap kind of mentality. But, all right, let's talk Stadium Stampede real fast. Okay. Thoughts on this? I'm not as high in this, I think, as you are. Oh, no. I thought it was okay. I didn't like the fact that the Elite won. I thought that it definitely should have been a time where the Inner Circle gets the W. But as we know on this show, I am a big fan of actual factions beating a group of random people put together. I know the Elite's a faction, but they're not really a faction. They're never it's just from the show, from the YouTube show, and from that. It's not necessarily they're honestly always together all the time. They haven't shown that on the show even. So it's like, for me, the Inner Circle should have definitely gotten the win here. I feel like they took a little bit of a cheap way out by having Sammy take the fall. I feel like that needs to start stopping, quite frankly. You know, if you're going to want to make Sammy a star, you can't keep losing every single week. So your thoughts on the match? You know, the one that was really like the eye catcher.
Yeah. See, people were trying to compare this to like a Boneyard match. I don't think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah.
Because I think this is more, if you want to go compare it to, I think this is more like Firefly Funhouse.
I agree with that.
Where it's just like they didn't go out there and be like, hey, I want to rip your head off, like the Boneyard match kind of was. This was just like, hey, like, we're just going to have this fun, like, in these bad times that we're having, like, sit down for 34 minutes and just watch crazy, like, weird theatrics happening.
Right. Yep.
Like Matt Hardy changing, getting dunked.
That was cool. That was the best part of the match for me.
Jericho, like, challenging and throwing a red flag out on a bad count or whatever. Like, it was just, like, a lot of fun to sit and watch through. I think that...
I would say it was entertaining. I'm not going to say it's not entertaining.
I think the decision will be hindsight 2020, because I think where they'll go with it is eventually lead to a match of a blood and guts and have Cody... Because Cody, the reason why Matt Hardy was inserted was because Cody was in the TNT stuff, so they were like, okay, we need somebody so it's 5-on-5.
Right.
So that's why he was inserted into that.
Right.
I think down the line with this TNT win also, you can have where the Inner Circle maybe takes the title from Cody, and Cody goes, listen guys, I need your help, go into blood and guts with me and like help me beat the Inner Circle and get my title back kind of thing. I think it leads to a story down the line.
Right.
But if it never does, I think you can look back and go, I think Inner Circle should have won.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with the result, thinking that something's going to happen.
Yeah, and I'm hoping there is, right? I just felt like in this scenario it would have been easy because it's this weird match that it would have been okay for a guy like Matt or Nick Jackson to take the fall. Or, like, you know, we talked about this off air where it's like, you know, to further the Adam Page storyline with him teetering, you know, and he takes the fall there, and you kind of... I just felt like this match was a good opportunity for them to continue to progress it. Because, in my mind, right, if the heels win, right, and it gives the heroes, in this case the Elite, reason to keep coming at them, right? Yeah. And now it's... And you can make the argument both ways, but if the heroes win, it's like, well, what am I paying to watch now? Like, I pay to watch... the basic fundamentals of wrestling is you want your heroes, your favorites, to overcome whatever obstacle there is, right? So now they've overcome it. Now what? You know what I mean? That's the part where I have an issue with, where if this is going to continue to go on, there needs to be a stressor put into the situation to cause the friction, other than, well, you guys are kind of a faction and we're a faction, so we're going to fight each other. Yeah. That doesn't do it for me. You know what I mean? So that's my only flaw with it. Yeah, I'm kind of agree with you though. I would say probably B-. B was probably where I would go with it. You know, overall, just I would say it was an okay show. You know, not great by any means, but I thought it was good, solid. You know, from start to finish. All right, let's talk now. What we're gonna talk? Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about the match here. Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. I don't want to talk about the actual match itself, but this is another example of another special event, right? Another special sporting event. We've seen this now with the NBA and WNBA doing the horse challenge thing. We've seen it with WWE in these special matches, Money in the Bank, Boneyard, now AEW's doing it, where they're having these individual kind of special attraction type moments where it's like it's sports or it's in a sporting event of some sort, but not like a true sporting event, you know? We don't have golf right now, so they're kind of going with this. Your thoughts on these events? Are you digging them? Are you kind of over it at this point and you're just ready for regular sports to be back? Just your thoughts on these kind of events as a whole as we kind of work our way through this whole coronavirus thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're fine. They're just trying to throw something out there.
They're literally, that's all they're doing.
Yeah,
they're trying to push.
Especially,
I think The Last Dance, another one, right? Where like this documentary was supposed to be out for another year, and now we're getting
forward.
Yeah, right.
You know, I think the horse one's the worst one because I think that was just executed very poorly.
What are you talking about? You don't want the people doing dunks, and they're like, I don't even know if I can do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just don't think it was very well done. I do think the match is going to be very well done. It's just going to be taped like they're all together and they're just all golfing at the same spot.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be like a regular golf match with 4 famous people.
Right.
So like it's what like it is.
A little more trash talk and that.
Yeah, you get some trash talking and there's not going to be as many people or whatever. But I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to be tuning into that today.
Yeah.
But I think overall they're doing what they can. But to be honest, I don't really care about most of these outside of the match.
Yeah.
I guess the Last Dance too, but like the match itself.
Right. Yeah, it's hard because they're trying to spurn ratings, right? They're playing. You can see like on Fox Sports Detroit, they're playing old, Tigers games and stuff where they play well or what have you. You know what I mean? Like, have they put one out there that where we lose yet?
I don't think so.
So you see that. I think they're trying. I think it's one of those things to where it's going to start losing its luster a little bit here pretty quickly because it's like, how many more of these things can we do? It's kind of getting to the point where I think a lot of people I appreciate the effort, but can we just get regular sports back now, and just get me my teams? And even if
I'd rather just have none of it and just go to next season than have horse competitions and stuff. Because I'm like, I'd rather have it done like unless you're gonna do it like get everyone together, do it in a really well done way. Yeah. Like the match is gonna probably be. It's like you get all.
Well, they're together.
Yeah, they're all together and stuff. Like it's gonna be just a good golf 18-hole match or whatever it is. But I just think like if you're just gonna do it, just do it that way or just don't really do it. Yeah. Not many people are gonna be like, oh my god, Mike Conley's in a horse competition. I think we gotta go watch that one.
Hey, he was good.
Yeah. He almost won.
Mike's a full ass kind of guy. Don't do it half ass. He wants full ass. Right? Yeah, for sure.
Go all in. We're gonna be talking about NHL is trying to propose a 24 team playoff. Like they're all trying to progress into this. Right. And I'm like, all right, you're doing a good job. Progress into it.
Absolutely.
Don't give me half-made stuff.
He knows what he wants, ladies.
I know what I want.
He knows what he wants. All right, that's going to be it for part 1. After the break, like Mike talked about, we're going to talk about this NHL breakdown of the new playoff format just for this particular season because of all the situations going on in the world. And then we're also going to talk NFL rule changes and how that may affect your favorite team. All of that after the break. Stick around. And welcome back to part 2 of this week's episode of the I'm Always Red Sports Podcast. Happy Memorial Day to all of you guys out there as well. Just a reminder, we are live every single Monday, live 7 a.m. with brand new episodes, and live every Wednesday. The YouTube version drops as well. Let's just jump right into it, Mike. NHL is kind of proposing this 2014 playoff. No, the Detroit Red Wings are still not somehow able to be in it. That's how awesome they are this season, but they're probably going to have the first or second overall pick, so no complaints there. But the new NHL format, you got like the rundown on this bad boy here? All right, go ahead and explain it to us, then we'll kind of break it down.
So under the new framework, you're going to have 24 teams. That's 12 from each side with simple math.
There you go. Proud of you.
Under the framework, the top 4 Eastern Conference teams would be Boston Bruins, the Lightning, Washington Capitals, and Philadelphia Flyers. These are based off the March 12th when the season was suspended. Yep. So they're not going to play any more regular season games because there were like 6 games left.
Yeah, right.
So nothing much would probably change.
Right.
And then in the West, you'd have the St. Louis Blues, Colorado Avalanche, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Dallas Stars. So they would have the top 4 seeds and they'd get a bye in the first round. Right. Then you would play 5 and 12 would play, 6 and 11, best to worst from the rest of the teams remaining. Yep. Then
those are 3 games. Are those 3-game series?
No, those are 5-game series.
5-game series, okay.
The remaining 16-team playoff would face off in a 5-game series for the first round, and then once those teams are figured out, they reseed. Right. So if the 12 seed wins, they're gonna verse the number 1 seed, whatever it takes. Yep, exactly. And then those are all gonna be 7-game series.
Traditional 7-game series for that afterwards. So basically, we're getting an extra round of playoffs.
Yeah, you're getting a play-in. Yeah, from 5 through 12 are gonna play in for the 4 remaining spots. Right. And then they're gonna reseed and then just go from there.
Exactly. So obviously our Detroit Red Wings are not in there, but that's okay because we're like I said, it's not our time just yet. Yeah. But I do think it's going to add a level of intrigue for sure, especially if the NHL is the first thing to come back. They're going to do monster numbers because, what else are you going to watch? You know what I mean? What's on, NHL hockey or an episode or rerun of Big Bang Theory? I'm going to probably watch NHL hockey if you're a sports guy. You know what I mean? So it's and I think it gives these teams, even if you're a 12 seed, you got a little bit of hope, that maybe you can pull it out, kind of out of nowhere. So where you looked at before, you're like, there's no way we're making the playoffs. Now it's like, get a little bit of extra time, and I think it's conducive for the first 4 teams to be like, yeah, okay, we can get back in our facility, we can practice, we can get ready, rather than having just to go right into the game and do that. Do you think it's going to have any impact whatsoever on like what teams, what final teams we're going to see in the finals?
See, I think it's interesting because I think it can. Yeah. Because I think hockey, you get a really hot goalie. Like really quickly, and we'll talk about it because if basketball does anything similar to this, I think that has an effect too. Where if a goalie just gets really hot in the first 4 games of a series, like because it's best of 5, so you only have to win 3. Yeah. If the 12 seed, I don't even know what the 12 seed would be, but if the 12 seeded team gets really hot goalie and they upset the 5 seed, and then they're going against the 1, and now they play 3 games, so they're back in game mode. Right. Where now they're playing the Capitals, who's a 1 seed or whoever, and they haven't played a game yet. Maybe you can sneak out a game or 2 there, and now you only have to win. Yeah, 2 more games out of 6 or 5 instead of now I have to go win 4 against this team. Yeah, exactly. So like if you put it in the NBA where it's like maybe it would be an advantage when the Golden State was so high. Maybe it's like, but they haven't played in 3 months, and we just had a game a week
we just
ago.
had to play now.
So now, like, you might have the advantage of being able to play together for a couple of games.
Absolutely.
So I think it does benefit the earlier teams if you can make it out of that round.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see some of the best playoff hockey, quite frankly. Everyone's kind of hopefully getting healthy, so any nagging injuries that maybe some of these teams have where it's like, he's going to be out for a month, it's like, okay, a month's gone now, you know what I mean? So you're definitely going to have...
It's also, I think the 9 through 12s are going to be really interesting because they're going to be...
They're all right there. Yeah, they're all right in the...
But because it's like, this is like a first time ever where like you could look back and go, a 12 seed just won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, right. They're 39 and 50.
Whatever.
And they got to like,
they're 32 and 50 for 18 games and they somehow just pulled out the Stanley Cup because they got really hot because of coronavirus. I don't know where I'm 39 from. But yeah, right, exactly. Where you're like 10, 12 games under 500 and yet... We made the playoffs? You made the playoffs, and then you got to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Every bad NHL team who makes it, like, they're like the Lions when they put up the playoff banners for a while there. It was like, playoff appearance 2011. Everybody goes, is that really worth putting on a flag for? Like, not a like, hey, we made it to the divisional round and we won a game. No, it's we made it to the playoffs, and that was the flag worthy. And I'm glad they finally took those down. But I think it's funny. It's funny though that like you could say it's like, well, we made it. Yeah,
we were a 6 seed.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Or we were the 12 seed that one year. Like.
And lost in 3 to the Bruins.
It's freaking awesome. That's great. Yeah, I definitely think though it's going to help. I think it's. In some regards, this may help the NHL quite a bit if they're the first ones to get back on the ice or the field, whatever you want to call it, because, I don't think I'm breaking any news here by saying that a lot, hockey I think is probably out of the core 4, probably the least watched. I think baseball
is probably only more watched because of like the history of baseball.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like hockey, I feel like is especially now it's like.
Yeah. Well, and you look at hockey. The only advantage hockey has is they enter the playoffs earlier than the NBA.
Yes.
So their finals or the Stanley Cup finals are happening around the Eastern Conference final time for the NBA. So you're not like matching exactly. Yes. So like you're like, all right, I'd rather watch the Stanley Cup final than a game 1 of the Eastern Conference final for the NBA kind of thing. Yeah. That's the only thing that they have, but it's also hard because they always go right next to the NBA for most of the season, so they lose all those numbers with the NBA.
Exactly. And so especially a common fan, I think, is more likely to watch an NBA playoff series than they will an NHL series, unless you're a fan of the team. Like St. Louis, they're riding high. They're like, we don't got anything right now, so like we're gonna run all the way through this, but. If you're like, say, if you're in LA and you don't watch the Kings, you can watch the Lakers or the Clippers. Which one are you watching? You're watching the Lakers or Clippers. So I think it's a little bit, it's difficult for sure. But if they're the first ones to get,
if they're the first ones back and they're back for a minute, because if they can even hit the first round of their playoffs or like the semifinals by the time the NBA starts back up. Because the NBA is going to probably start the regular season too. Yep. They're going to still win all those numbers because I'd rather watch the Eastern Conference Finals for hockey than either a regular season or first round game for the NBA.
Exactly.
So you're going to win a lot of those if you could be back first.
Especially if you see, too, like, you see an upset or two,
Yeah.
and then it's all over the place. Then you're like, all right, what's going on?
If you got a 12 seed versus a 2 seed in the Eastern Conference Final, you're like, if that 12 seed upsets, I feel like you'll get a lot of numbers watching those.
Exactly, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting for sure. All right, let's shift now to the NFL just a little bit. I said that weird. NFL.
The NFL.
The NFL, we had a couple rule changes that I wanted to go
I have all of them.
You got all of them?
Yeah, there's only 7 of them. Most of them aren't really too big. There's only 2 big ones that I think we should talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
We can brief over.
All right, let's just go through all of them, and then we'll single out the 2 big ones.
Yeah, okay, so they want to vote on extending defensiveless player protection to a punt and kick returner who possesses the ball but not have enough time to avoid contact. Okay. So basically, like if they get the ball, they want to have more time to like make a move if they don't fair catch it before they get like imploded.
Okay, well, fair catch it then. All right, but
agreed. So what I think that's fine. It'll help with safety reasons. They want to.
You said that with like the most lack of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree. I'm like,
if you feel like you're gonna get destroyed,
just fair catch it. Yeah, agreed. Prevent teams from committing multiple dead ball fouls. Basically, the Belichick rule. Yeah. Because he was doing it, so they're gonna try to
take a delay and then they're gonna intentionally jump off sides or something. And then let clocks and keep running.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great. So they're gonna change that rule so that can't be a loophole anymore.
Right, where they kill a minute of clock without having to do anything.
Yeah. Returning preseason to regular season overtime to 15 minutes from 10 minutes. To give them the extra 5 minutes because the last like 2 years have been 10.
That's fine. I don't really honestly it happens within the first 4 or 5 anyway usually with a finish. So it's like if it takes longer than usually one team goes on a long drive and scores. So it's not really that big of a deal to me. But sure.
Make permanent the expansion of automatic replay reviews to include scoring plays and turnovers negated by a foul and any successful or unsuccessful try attempts.
Yeah,
sure. I'm fine with that too.
Like I'm all for improving the rules and the officiating, and being able to get calls right in big moments, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's a turnover, it's a scoring play, like if the Lions have an 80-yard run by Kerryon Johnson for a touchdown that gets negated by holding, I would like to be able to challenge that call and be like, wasn't really on that player. Like if you say holding number 68 Taylor Decker. And then they go and they're like, yeah, he definitely wasn't holding. Then that should be a freaking touchdown. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those kinds of things, I think definitely should be able to be reviewed because I think it helps with the integrity of the game. Where it's like, you're calling it in such a blink of an eye, it's nice to be able to go...
Yeah, let me look at that.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And these are the 2 that probably we're going to talk about the most here. Yeah. So you're going to add an 8th official, the Sky Judge, air quotes, to review all plays and consult with game officials in a limited capacity, mirroring the Sky Judge using the AF and the XFL. So basically having the guy in the booth, you're going to be able to have the booth cam, and he's going to play with his Xbox controller and start replaying the video and be like, hey, like...
Or PlayStation.
Yeah, whatever has it. And he's basically going to be talking like through it like, hey, so I see him grabbing the jersey here and he threw him to the ground, so I think that's why it's holding. Or in a pass interference situation, he's like, all right, he got the arm underneath.
Yeah, he got there early, made contact, the ball was there, yada yada. Right.
So they're thinking about that, and that's going to be a preseason thing, and then they're going to see if they can roll it over in the regular season. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on that?
I mean, for me, it's huge, quite frankly. I think you saw in the XFL, we only got a few weeks of it, obviously, but it was nice. I hope they include the fact that the fans should be able to get in on that. Yeah. Because I think a big majority of fan frustration a lot of times when it comes to calls, and Alliance fans probably know this better than anybody, it feels like a lot of times, where you're like, where's the logic, right? Like the Calvin Johnson rule, he catches the ball, he sets the ball down, and they go, yeah, it's not a touchdown. You go, how? And like those kinds of reviews, I feel like would be so helpful to be able to listen in and go, this is why we're making this call. Rather than just going, no, the call on the field was correct or yada yada. It's nicer to be able to get an explanation. Obviously, you won't get it while you're at the stadium, but like when you're watching at home and you can hear the guy go, yep, he had it, and then right there he lost it. And you can see that and you go, okay, at least... there's checks and balances now in the officiating. We have so much technology that it needs to be accurate at this point. And then you don't really have an excuse. It's kind of like umping in the MLB, quite frankly. Like, I'm ready for them just to go, can we just put a robot back there and just put something back there and you go, this is a strike. And it's standard for everybody. There's no It's like MLB The Show, right? Where you can switch it between, do you want ump version or do you want like legit, like everything is always going to be 100% accurate? Yeah. I prefer it just to be accurate, where I know where my strike zone is, throw the ball, you know? So I think that's going to be, if it gets implemented, I don't know how much the league will enjoy it as much as fans will. I don't know.
Yeah.
How, you know what I mean?
There's a big fan service one, I think.
Absolutely.
I don't think well, because I think when you're in the game, like when you're in the stadium, you won't be able to hear that.
No,
either.
Of course, right?
So like,
yeah.
I think like coaches are gonna be like, still be like, why are they?
Right.
Like, what's the reason behind that? But like fans at home will be able to like, okay, I get it, but like everyone else will be still in the dark until afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
So. And then the final one, which I think is the most talked about, is the modified to the onside kick rule. So basically, instead of the onside kick, you can have an option of allowing the team behind in the score to attempt a single, 4th down and 15 play from their own 25-yard line. This is a similar rule to the AEF's only season in 2019. They also added an asterisk where you can only do it twice a game.
Oh,
so you can't just do it continuously.
So you just maintain to always have the ball.
Yeah, you can only do it twice a game.
That's probably good they put that in there because like if you're just rolling on offense and you're like, we haven't touched the ball in 3 quarters.
I've been back and forth on that one rule. I think it works both ways, which is why I think it'll pass and go through. Because I was thinking, well, if you're like Kansas City, and you're just like, so you kick the onside kick, or you score a touchdown. And then you're basically like, all right, instead of the onside kick, I'm almost guaranteed to get this because Patrick Mahomes is 13 of 16 on 4th and 15 plays this year. I'm like, he's basically almost guaranteed at this point that they're going to probably get it with how explosive they are.
Right.
But I think at the same time, when you're like, say, the Lions, and you go, do I want to give Kansas City the ball back? So now you can go for it on 4th and 15. Get it back.
Yes.
And now you can keep the stronger offense off the field longer.
Exactly. Absolutely. So where it's like one of those situations to where we're down 3.
Yeah.
So instead of having to hopefully get a stop, let's just go for this one play. If they get it, fine. They kick. Hopefully we get a stop. They kick a field goal. Yeah. We're down. We're down anyway. We still got to go score. Rather than taking the risk of now we got to put our 80th ranked defense out on the field and having to get a stop. I think that's where it's going to come into play for sure. Yeah. And I think you'll see it implemented, earlier in the game. Like, I feel like a Sean Payton, all right, I'm down 10-7. I'm going to go for this because that's early enough in the game where even if they score, I can make it up later.
I agree. I think teams will find when you get that momentum split back, you're like, that's when we have to do it.
Or they just went on a big drive to score. Okay, now big stop. Nope, I just need to convert this one play. And
we get the ball back and we go right back down.
It'll blow up in teams' faces for sure, but it will also definitely make swings them over.
Because when you look at the onside kick percentage, it's like at 3% completed right now because of the changed rule.
Do you think that the 25 seems really close to me for whatever reason? Like, I don't know why it feels like it's so much closer than it needs to be. You think they should up that almost, where maybe they go to the 35, so it's not like a gimme field goal?
I think that for one, if you complete the pass or something, it's like they get the ball at that spot. So if you complete a 10-yard pass, they get the ball, so it'll be at the 35 anyway.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
But because most of these plays are not going to be Hail Mary. Like, you're going to
you're not going to it's not going to be 4
You're going 15 yards turning around and throwing the ball there. So you're not
where's the sticks? Right there.
Exactly. Right, those are going to be what the plays are. They're not going to be vertical plays anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that
back draws.
No, you should though. I mean, maybe we'll catch him off guard.
I had to do it once.
I really like the rule though. I think it really
I think honestly because it's going to add more intrigue to the last parts of the game, right? To go and to be able to use that because the NFL, regardless of what anybody likes to think, with all these rule changes, you know what it does? It promotes scoring. So even if the team doesn't get it, all the other teams at the 25-yard line, which is what's going to happen. At least a field goal. If more than that, they're going to score. It's more highlight. It's more. It allows people to go, man, we had a record number of touchdown passes this year in the league, right? Like NFL Red Zone is all about scoring. That's the whole point of the channel.
Well, now this is what's interesting because I think the rule states that you have to be down to be able to use this rule.
Yes.
What if you could be up and use it?
Yeah.
Because what if you were down 10-7 originally? You go down and have like an 15-play 80-yard drive.
We're going to go 14-10, and now I want to try to get the ball back
to go up 21-10.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever do that because no team up ever goes for an onside kick. So that's the reason why I'm not saying I necessarily wouldn't be against it. I think it'd be kind of funny. I think Madden is where it would, I think, affect fans more than anybody because it'd go, damn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same thought though, because you're eliminating specifically just the onside kick, I don't think they would ever do it for the team ahead usually. But I do think it would be very interesting to see, and I think honestly you may see the effectiveness of an onside kick like in Sean Payton in the Super Bowl, where maybe you see it just at random parts of the game now, where it's more of a surprise onside kick rather than a all right, let's put 9 guys over here and hope to God something happens. Yeah. Now it's like we're gonna have a regular kick formation, but now it's a little more strategy in order to get the ball back. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Do you think this diminishes special teams at all?
No, actually, I think what it does, like I said, yes and no. Yes, in the sense of you're not getting that, like Pat McAfee made a living off of being able to hit an onside, right? But at the same time, I think that kickers are going to score more points than ever because of this. Because if that team doesn't get it, say they throw a deep post and it's incomplete. Now the other team gets the ball 25-yard line with 3 minutes left. All right, run, timeout, kick, field goal. That's 3 more points for them. So I think that as far as we need to have a kicker who can do this specific thing, I think you're going to miss that. But I think you're going to increase the value of a kicker where it's I need a Matt Prater, a Justin Tucker, an Adam Vince, or I know that these 3 points, even though we're only up 2 or 3 or 5, this is going to make a difference where now it puts the game truly out of reach for the other team. You know what I mean? But once again, it's all about scoring for the NFL. It's the same reason why people like the XFL and the idea of all right, we can get run up routes like the arena football does and those kinds of things. It's all about highlights. There's more pass interference called than ever because they want to see these deep bombs and they want to see. That's why Mahomes and Lamar and Rodgers, these guys who just chuck it deep and say a prayer, those are the kind of people that they want to build the league around. It's no longer, so when you see a team that runs the ball really well, it almost draws just as much media attention because no one does it, So it's all about scoring for them. I don't blame them. It's because they look at Madden. I guarantee you they look and go, wow, there's a lot of stuff happening, Madden. No one, so I think that's probably why Madden was so easy to run the ball this year, is because they're everybody's going to throw anyway, so no one's going to care to run it. And then the good people went, you can run the ball really easily in this game. Yeah. I mean, I still don't run, but more just because it's more fun to pass. But same thing though, it's more fun to watch people throw the ball than it is to run it. Yeah. Your thoughts on just that, on that rule in particular? Are you 100% yes, right now, let's go?
I think I'm more of a let's see it in the preseason. I think it does add a lot of intrigue sure. Because I think when you're down. Especially if you're down 13 but you haven't used it yet, there's a lot more all right, we can take a few
and
more
it makes you feel like you can still get in the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's almost like when we talk about the XFL and being able to go for the 9-point play, going for 3.
Yeah, being down 10 is just now really just
one possession with a field goal to win the game, not just to tie the game.
Right.
It adds so many variables to it.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd actually just rather see the original onside rules back, where you can stack it, because now you can't have more than 5 guys on one side. So now you're never going to get onside kicks.
That's true.
I think if you were able to put 9 guys on one side to really go for one, I think I'd rather have that, because at least then you had an 18% success rate.
And the reason why you're never going to see that is because of the impact.
Of the injury and the impact and everything, but that's why it's I'm just
they are trying to make the NFL into the NBA.
Yeah, they are.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it where there's not a ton of contact. It's just everyone's flowing.
It's finesse.
And we're just going to chuck it down the field, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're going to shoot threes in the NBA because we don't want anybody to drive the hole and get hit or foul. Nope. We just want everyone to stay around the 3-point line and chuck it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's definitely going to be something that's extremely interesting, for fans. Absolutely. I think it's something, to definitely keep an eye. It's just going to make you feel like you always have a shot. Yeah. At the end of the day. So I'm really excited for the way the Lions blow that lead or how they get screwed out.
That's what I mean.
Here's one thing before we go off air though. Do you think that play, that one specific play, needs to be officiated differently? And what I mean by that is like anything, like if there's a penalty or something like that, like all that can be reviewed on just that one play. Like I'm going for all that 4th and 15 for my 25. I'm down 6. I need to get the ball back with a minute and a half left. If I get called for a bullcrap holding or something like that and I lose the game because of it, like, do you think that there needs to be like an extra, like to implement the rule that they already have with the Sky Judge, or like this one play, if it's 4 minutes left in the game, a minute left in the game, doesn't matter. This needs to be heavily like watched.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a penalty call.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't think it needs to be that much different per se, but I do think that if anything,
like if there's a penalty thrown, like if nothing's thrown, then what are you gonna do? But like if there is a pass interference,
I think this should be officiated more like a touchdown would be, where you just like look at everything.
Yeah.
But I don't think it needs to be officiated differently.
Yeah.
I just think that whatever the outcome, I think you need to look at it.
You need to be better. Yeah, right.
Just look at it.
Right.
Like you just be like, just double check and be like, okay.
Yeah.
Because for
onside,
they check every onside just in case someone
make sure it goes
10 yards.
Yep.
Make sure that other guy touches it, and then that you recover it because the other guy touched it and stuff. Like all of that is looked at a few times to make sure that everything was run properly.
Right.
I think this just needs to be like, okay, it's a pass, it's like a post route or something. Make sure that there's no holding on the play, there's no defensive holding, he gets a clean break. Like, I think you can look at all of that, but I don't think you need to be like, okay, like let them play, or we have to call everything that happens. Like, I think call it officiating like you would the rest of the game. Yeah. But
make sure you get the
right. Make sure.
Because that's the next thing that's going to happen, right? Well, if they can both of those 4th and 15s, it's going to be, I'm waiting for those comments to occur, you know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting for sure. It's going to be fun. Like I said, it's going to make Madden a hell of a lot more fun. I'll tell you that. To be able to do that instead, it's definitely, you'll see a lot of differences going from there. But all right, that's going to be it for this week's show. Like I said, we are live every single Monday, 7 a.m. on all your favorite streaming services. To go buy the shirt, go to belowthecollar.com/I'm Always Right PC. To support the YouTube show, go to YouTube, look up I'm Always Right Sports Podcast, click that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate the subscriber count. We've been really hitting our stride the last couple weeks, so I really appreciate that. As well, if you're not subscribed to us on your favorite streaming sites, make sure to do that as well, whether that's Spotify, iTunes, wherever you like to listen to us. We're there. Go to our website, I'mAlwaysRightPC.com. Fill out the contact page. We don't send you emails or anything like that, so we're not going to go to your spam box. We literally just want to make you part of the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast family. You want to submit a show topic. You want to be on the show. You want to have, you disagree with Mike, because you're not going to disagree with me because I'm always right. So if you disagree with Mike for whatever reason, let us know. The best way to get in contact with us is through that contact page on the website or by emailing us at iarbroadcastmedia@gmail.com. That's going to be it for this week's show. For the missing whaleman, for the missing brain, he's the Merc Zone. I'm the Mouth of Michigan, and we will see you guys, as always, next time.